going on, guys? It's Grif of the Four Horsemen, and today I'm going to be bringing you a deck update for my hero deck for the September 2018 ban list. I know this might be a little late, but I've been testing it this past week, and I think I finally have the build I'm happy with. Obviously, there's still some stuff that I might change later, because these things always happen. But yeah, this ban list made heroes like us hero players so happy. We got Stratos, we lost 2 hero lives, but in my opinion, having 1 hero lives instead of 2 doesn't even matter. And so yeah, let's get right into this. So starting us off, we have the 3 Elemental Hero Solid Soldier. I'm so glad this card came out. I love this card. I was actually running this at 2 earlier because it's searchable, so you didn't need to run as many copies as you did prior to it. But since a hero lives went down to 2, this card became twice as important because now you can't special summon the Shamanist from the deck. However, you can still summon from the hand. So this thing is amazing. I love this card. I'm so glad I can use these instead of Goblin Birds now. So yeah, definitely want to run 3 now in my opinion because it helps the deck a lot. Especially even more now with hero lives at 1. Next up, I run 3 Vion. It's your Armageddon Knight for the deck. It sends your Destiny Hero Malicious, which gets you your Soul Day, it gets you your Dark Law. It just helps your deck tremendously. I love this card. It searches out your Poly, which is amazing, because Absolute Zero is just fantastic overall. And yeah, you definitely still want to run 3 Vion, and it's just great. Next up, I bumped Shamanist down to 2. The reason I bumped this down is since our hero lives is now at 3, or is now at 1, it is extremely bricky to run this card at more than 2 because there will be times when you'll have in your hand that you don't want it in your hand. I've just found in testing it, 2 is the perfect number now. You don't want to run less than 2 in my opinion. You definitely don't want to run like 1. But 2 is the perfect number right now because it's still a great card, but you don't want to see it in your hand as much, even with Solid Soldier. Plus, if you have a Solid Soldier in your hand and you need a Shamanist, you can just activate E-Call to get the Shamanist. So you definitely, in my opinion, want to run 2, but you can run 3 if you still want, but I just find 2 is better. So 1 below 4s, Stratos and Bubbleman. I'm so happy I went to Stratos is back. Oh my god, I cannot tell you guys how happy I am that this card is back. I love this card. I have this original Shonen Jump promo printing that I've wanted to use, and I can now finally use it. This card searches out your heroes. It destroys back row. I will say, if you go to a tournament and if you have this printing of Stratos, which is the original printing, I would definitely take like a copy of the more recent printings because they have the current effect, whereas this one has the old effect. Because you can search out Vion with Stratos, but the old printing Vision Heroes weren't a thing, so they don't say anything about Vision Hero in here. But in the current printing, it just says Hero, so you definitely want to run, have 1 copy of the newer printing if you go to a tournament, just so you don't get like flags like, oh, you can't add that card to your hand, when you can in fact add that card to your hand. And yeah, he destroys back row. He's just amazing. I love this card. 1 Bowman, still run 1 Bowman for the Absolute Zero plays. You get to him when you need him, but you don't want him in your hand as much because he bricks with Honest Neos and sometimes Stratos. Most of the time, Stratos and Solid Soldier are going to be the ones you normally summon, or Vion. But you still won't run 1 Bowman in my opinion because it's a great top deck if you're running low, and also it's Absolute Zero target, so fantastic card. Next up, we run the 2 Honest Neos. I still run 2 of this card. I know some people run 1. I still prefer 2 because there's always those times when I want that second one in my hand to protect Dark Law or protect another of my heroes. So yeah, I still run 2. You can run 1 if you want. That's perfectly fine. It's just a personal preference on how many you run, but I would definitely run at least one because it's searchable and it's just amazing. And for the last monster, 3 malicious. This shouldn't be that surprising. It's malicious. It's a free Soul Day with Vion or any other hero. It's dark. You get for Dark Law. I love this card. If you guys don't have, I would definitely recommend this in any basically deck that needs warriors. But if you guys don't have a copy of these, I would wait until, because I know I believe these are some of the heroes that are getting pricey. I would wait until the legendary decks set that comes out in October, because I will be shocked if Malicious does not get a reprint in there. But so I would definitely wait until then to get yours if you currently don't have any. But yeah, that's it for the monsters. Probably a heftier monster count than some hero decks, but I just like them. And we don't run any hand traps in this build. You can if you want, but there are other cards I prefer in this build than hand traps, but if I'm taking this to a tournament, I might run some. One of the Heart and Souls of the deck, 3 mass change. It sucks that Hero Lives is at 1 because this won't be as live anymore. Well, that's not true. It's still live, but you won't be able to search as much. I found that currently you're going to have to rely on hard drawing it if you don't have the Shamanist. But it's still an amazing card. You still run 3 because this card, it gets you all your important plays, even with even if you're not going for a Masked Hero. You are going for a Masked Hero, but even if you want to go for Absolute Zero, you can still do the Mass Change Absolute Zero into Acid Play to blow up their field. It's just amazing. 3 E-Call, since Solid Soldier and Stratos are in the decks now, you run 3 E-Call instead of the Paw Desires because you don't want to banish your heroes. And this card, with the release of Solid Soldier and Stratos, just became even more amazing. So definitely run 3 E-Call. 2 Call by Grave. You hate fighting hand traps, and so you want the Call by Graves in order to just deal with them. I know people are like salty that this card went from 3 to 2, but I typically only ran like 2 in my decks anyway, so it doesn't affect me as much. If this card goes to 1, that'll suck, but I don't think it's going to 1. But yeah, 2 Call by Grave. I'm pretty sure you basically run this in every single deck, if you can. And then for our Fusion 1-ups, 1 Miracle Fusion, because it's a great top deck, 1 Poly, because it's searchable, and 1 Super Poly. I love that this card is back. This is one of my favorite spell cards, if you guys didn't know. I love this card. This thing will help you out extra link boards because you can activate Super Poly, fuse one of their linked monsters that are in the extra deck zone, and then another one, and go into Mudragon Swamp. You can use them with a hero to go into any of your other hero fusions. It's just amazing. I love this thing. I'm so glad this is back. It helps hero decks, it helps invoked, and yeah, Miracle Fusion and Poly are just good. So Miracle Fusion is probably the one you can probably take out if you want. I still like it at 1, so. Next up for the equip cards for Soul Day, I run 1 Moon Mirror Shield, because equipping this to a Dark Claw, they can never beat over it. 1 DDR for getting your banished heroes back. 1 War of the Unicorn, because it's an equip. That's basically it. Thomas Action Unit, I don't really have anything else. And Axe of Fools. These 3 you can probably take out for a couple other equip cards. I mainly just run them because my other good equipped spell cards I'm using in another deck, like a Phoenix Blade, I am using in my Synchros. But yeah, so you definitely want to run at the very least DDR Moon Mirror Shield. You can probably take these out actually for the Bamboo Engine, just for 2 Cursed, a Broken, and then a Golden by taking out something else. So yeah, definitely want to run, I think 5 is a good number for me, because if I draw one, I still have the other 4 to send to the grave with the Soul Day to get a Shamanist or Vion or Stratos or whatever. So yeah, you can run 4 if you want. I think running 5 is fine. And I do not run a Xian Squire or Attack Gainer for the Naturia Beast play. You can if you want, that's probably a good idea. It's just, it doesn't really work in my build because I just don't keep Solid Soldier on the field long enough times in order to warrant summoning the Xian Squire. Next up for your Power 1-ups. hero lives because it's at 1. It sucks that this thing is at 1 now, but you still run it because it's still hero lives. It's still amazing. And yeah. 1 reinforcement in the army for searching. 1 foolish burial to get that 1 shadow mist in the grave, or that 1 malicious in the grave. It's just a good card. Or if you're trying to activate Miracle Fusion, it can send that 1 material you need in order to make the Miracle Fusion live. 1 Monster Reborn, it's Monster Reborn, we run it. And 1 Soul Charge for the recovering, for the special summoning monsters from the graveyard for power plays, because now that hero lives at 1, I actually run this now because you're not using as many of your life points for hero lives as you are anymore, so you can run Soul Charge and more solemn cards. So yeah. That's it for the spells. Next up we run for the traps 2 Lost Wind. Now that Nightmare Goblin is banned, I actually am testing this card in here and it's so far been working. Because without Nightmare Goblin's targeting protection for extra deck monsters or U-Link monsters, you can now activate this. Target, I don't know, their Cerberus or their Phoenix or whatever, and then activate your Super Poly or activate Absolute Zero's effect. Basically, if you're facing a U-Link monster, a U-Link for it, just target whichever card is protecting them from your outs, and then you can just get rid of their boards. Plus, it's permanent, so that's always good. If you have to get rid of the card for any reason, you can just bring it back. So I actually think this card will be a lot better as the format progresses now that Goblin is gone. And then for our final traps, we're running 2 Solemn Strikes, a Warning, and a Judgment. I run the Solemn Brigade. I still think this is the best trap lineup for heroes because they cover a lot of bases. I don't know if back row will be as prevalent, or if back row hate will be prevalent main decks, so this is good for game 1 if you're going first, and then game 2 just take them out and throw hand traps in or something. But yeah, I still like these in here. I think they still have uses. So yeah, that's it for the main deck. Now moving on to the extra deck. So the extra deck, guys, is probably up to your personal choice the most. So long as you're running the 2 Dark Claw, as per mentions of any single hero deck known to man, you can run Dark Claw. It's amazing. But other than these 2, it's basically whatever you want and maybe Soul Day. Everything else in the extra deck is up to personal preference. This is currently what I have. So 2 Dark Claw, the 1 Anki because you can OTK with it along with Deanne. I love this card. I love that I can use this card again because this is one of my favorite Mass Heroes. And the 1 Acid as your final Mass Heroes. Acid you can probably cut. You can probably cut this out for something else. I don't know what, but I still run this card because I still love the Absolute Zero Mass Hero Acid play. So yeah, you could probably cut this one out realistically, but I would definitely keep the Deanne and the Anki because they're your other 2 most prevalent attributes. Next up for the Omni Hero Fusions, I run 1 Absolute Zero because he's boss and he's amazing, and he's also my favorite hero. So yeah, Absolute Zero. 1 Shining for getting back your recycled, getting back your banished elemental heroes. He's a giant beat stick. If you're facing a light attribute deck, you can use Super Poly to go into him. If you're facing a extra link deck, because they typically have Mermaid, or you're facing a, I don't know, a water deck, maybe Marvel's going to Absolute Zero. And yeah, so these 2 are definitely the ones you want to run the most, along with, this is a personal card of mine because I just like this card, Great Tornado. You might want to cut this, because honestly he isn't as good as he used to be. I don't think he was ever actually like super good to begin with, but I personally love this card. So and now that Stratos is back, I can actually run him without it being a totally dead brick card. So this is personal preference. I still love this card. These 2 are probably like my favorite hero fusions of all time. So if I can run Great Tornado, I'm going to run it, and I just love Absolute Zero. So yeah. And then the last hero fusion, 1 Vision Hero Trinity, because he alone can win you a game. If your opponent summons a ton of monsters, you can just summon him, just smack over all of them with a 3 attack Utopia of the Lightning, And yeah, he's just amazing. I love this card. It's a shame he can't attack your opponent directly, but I think if he could, that would be, excuse me, that would be busted. So yeah, one Trinity, you can take him out if you don't want him, but I like him. And in the last fusion, one Mud Dragon Swamp, because this card became instantly better when Super Poly came unbanned. This card is not only a water, so you can use it for Absolute Zero, as well as gaining an attack. He can protect your Dark Claw, he can protect any card you want, just by changing his attribute, and it's a quick effect, which is better. And yeah, so, I just love this card now that Super Poly is back. He is your main way of getting rid of extra deck boards, extra link boards, and yeah, he just can get rid of problem cards overall, so yeah. One Mud Dragon Swamp, I highly recommend it. And now I have two XZs, one Exciton Knight and one Baguska. These were Nightmare Cerberus and Nightmare Phoenix. I might put them back in, I haven't decided, but Exciton Knight became unbanned and I just wanted to play this card because I love this card. And Baguska is good if you don't really have anything, you just go into him and stall. These are basically the only two XYZ monsters you run, if you want to run them at all, because Links kind of replaced XYZ monsters as useful, so, but if you have to run XYZs like I am, because I like these two, definitely run these two over like even the Utopia package. I know that sounds weird, but you just don't go into them as often, and these are good for he's good for clearing boards, obviously, and he's good for stalling, so yeah. And now the Links. One he sold it, I might bump this up to 2, I still haven't decided. One has been working fine for me currently, but there's always that chance it gets negated, in which case that sucks. So, like, there's always a chance they Ash Blossom you and you don't have to call back grave, which just sucks, so I might bump this up to 2. One Deco Talker, just for the generic Link 3 to go into. You could try Arcana Knight Extra Joker, but I don't recommend it because it was really, really, really bad when I tested it. Because you can't link climb with it into it, you have to summon it with 3 monsters, so that's why I don't like it, and that's why I run the Deco Talker. If you have a Summon Sorceress, I would obviously take this out for Summon Sorceress, but I don't have one, so I'm just running the Deco Talker for right now. And one Borreload. I know you guys are probably getting tired of Proxy Borreload, but I still don't have a Borreload. It's expensive, and I just can't afford to buy one right now, so we're using Proxy. Obviously, if you don't have a proxy Borreload, obviously run a Borreload. But this is still in here just as a proxy until I get my hands on one, so yeah. So, that'll be it for the deck profile, guys. Let me know what you guys think. Overall, I am so happy that this deck got a major boost in... Where is he? It got a major boost in Stratos, it got a major boost in Super Poly. A Hero Lives going to 1 sucks, but it's manageable because I know some people say like, oh, without Hero Lives, this deck is dead. This deck is not dead whatsoever, guys. It can still make plays. It's still amazing. Yeah, so let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Don't forget to drop a like because it does help the channel immensely. And if you like the deck profiles and other of our videos, don't forget to subscribe, and that's about it. So I'm Grif with the 4 Horsemen, and I shall see you guys later.